Today we're gonna unbox and review the Donner Hush 1. How do you make a good sounding travel guitar? Make it small, make it portable, and make it usable. So everybody has sort of their own solution for this problem, and Donner has produced this guitar called the Donner Hush Silent Guitar. So let's have a look at it. No, this is not a case for a sniper rifle, even though it looks like it. It's what comes with the actual guitar. Nicely embroidered case, carrying case here. Nice metal handles. Very small. It's got a zipper, and it also has some nice hooks here. This would probably allow you to put it on your back. So we have the straps. Is it one or two straps? So it's only one strap as far as I can tell, unless the other one's in here. Oh, there's other stuff in the zipper as well. Okay, so let's see. What do we have here? Some goodies. A nice cleaning cloth. We always need one of those. Very practical. User manual, which we probably won't use here, but you never know. And a pencil case. No, it's not a pencil case. It's a little case that has some metal parts in it. So we'll look at that in a minute. I'll put these here. Also comes with a battery. So I guess we're going to have to power up the guitar. They throw in a Donner DT4 tuner. Always nice to have. So that leads me to believe that the guitar probably does not have an onboard tuner. And we have a Donner case with in-ear monitors. I want to focus on the guitar to start off with. Just make sure there's nothing else I'm overlooking in here. And let's open up this case. Okay, so the case itself is well padded. I like well padded cases, guys. I think every guitar needs to be well protected. Some other compartments in here as well. All right, so let me just show you what I see right off the bat. So here we have the guitar, which is, I would say, I don't know how many inches this would be, maybe 2.5 feet, more or less. I don't have a measuring tape. As you can see, it's well strapped in. It's got an elastic band here. It's got Velcro. Everything is nicely and neatly packaged, including the strings covered in paper, so there's no damage there. So let's just lift it out of the case, shall we? Man, it weighs almost nothing. Let me just take off the paper real quick. This is the first time I'm actually looking at this guitar, by the way. I haven't seen it up close in person before. This is really what you see is what you get. It's a WYSIWYG unboxing and playing demo here, so we're going to look at it together. This guitar is very unique. I haven't seen anything designed like this one before. So we have a headless design here. 20 frets. It seems to be made out of a very dark wood here. It mimics the look of ebony. The body and the neck are both made out of wood. This is mahogany, stained very nicely. It's got a matte finish to it. The neck seems to be asymmetrical, I think, which I like. Feels a little wide in the hand. Definitely not tuned, so we're definitely gonna try out the tuner here and see how that works. It has a compartment in the back which allows you to put in the battery, so we'll do that in a minute. And this actually powers up the guitar. So you have a couple of switches and knobs here. You have a phase switch, which is a button. You have a volume knob, a low and a high knob. So I guess you can control the lows and highs as you're playing, sort of like a 2-band EQ. You have a headphone output here, as well as a speaker output. So if you want to go into a speaker, I believe you can do that. Very unique looking jack out here. Very interesting design. And the cool thing is, because there is no headstock, so everything is tuned on this side of the guitar, and all of the tuners are metal. Very unique, very interesting. Donner logo here. Let's put on the rest of the parts that came with this guitar. So as I mentioned earlier, we did have these metal looking accessory pieces. There are a whole bunch of things that come in this pouch. So here is the other metal piece. And what these pieces actually are designed to do, they're actually designed to make this guitar more comfortable. So if you don't like the paddle design, because it's a little bit hard to play that on your lap, you can actually put in these metal pieces that drop right into the holes that are on the guitar. And then you have a little screw that you can put into the little holes that are drilled here to hold it in place. These little Allen key screws. Comes with an Allen key. So let's see how this thing actually goes in. Let's see if it actually is easy to put together. I don't like systems that are long to actually, you know, get ready to play. Because if you have inspiration, that one went in. I don't assume you have to over tighten anything. All right. And then we have these little ends here. I'm assuming these ends go in here so that you don't hurt yourself. So there you go. Very cool. And then I believe the Allen key drops right in. There's a little hole that is drilled here and it drops right into this space if I'm not mistaken. You can slide it all the way in. It's a little tight, to be honest. So I don't think I'm gonna, I mean, it sticks out. So I don't like that. And it's hard to pull out. So forget it. I'm not putting the Allen key in there. Let's put in the battery and see what that gives. So you have the 9-volt battery. Of course, the battery is all taped up. And let's do the test on the battery. Yeah, it's good. The old-fashioned test never fails. Put the cap back on. And that is good to go. Now, once the battery's in, I don't see any light or anything to indicate that the battery's working. So a light indicator would have been nice. I'm very curious about these tuners. So how about we try and tune this up? As I mentioned, there is no onboard tuner with this guitar. That's unfortunate because when you're traveling, you don't necessarily want to carry a whole bunch of stuff. Where do you put the tuner when you don't have a headstock? Let's see if it actually works. If we put it here, it's kind of hard to grip it. This is probably why it would have been better for them to actually have an onboard tuner, but it doesn't really stay all that well. How are we gonna do this, guys? Yeah, okay, so this is not obvious. Let me try putting it here and let's see what happens. Well, it is picking it up. I'm tuning it up using my fingers on these round tuning keys, but they also come with a little slots that allow you to put in the Allen key and tune them up as well. It's definitely more finicky when you're trying to tune this up with the Allen key. I prefer to do it with my fingers, but the rounded tuning keys cause things to be a little bit slippery, you know what I mean? They are gripped and knurled, so that's good. It allows you to grip it, but because they're round, it's a little bit more of a challenge. And you have to turn them the other way, so it's a little bit tricky, to be honest. So I guess once you get used to it, you can probably tune it up quicker. So the action on this guitar is a little bit high for my taste, so I would probably need to shim down the saddle here. The saddle looks like it's bone and it is compensated, and I'm assuming that there is a piezo pickup underneath here because there's no acoustic sound hole, so that's probably the only way you're going to get sound out of this thing. So how does this thing work with the strap? So you have the carrying strap for the case, but it has these little adapters that you can use to put the strap on the guitar. That's cool. Let's try that out. So right away I feel that the strap has enough adjustment to make it long enough. But it also has these clasps, but they're in the back of the strap, so they shouldn't actually, you know, jingle or hit the guitar. Definitely more comfortable to play this guitar with the strap on. The guitar is very comfortable when you're playing it standing up because of its small size. It tends to have a little bit of a neck dive, but the strap is grippy enough to keep it in place most of the time. The guitar is very light, so you know most of the weight is here in the neck, but the metal little accent pieces also help keep the guitar in balance, which is a nice additional reason why you would want to put these on. So Unplugged, the guitar is not extremely loud, but it's not designed to be loud being played this way. You have to plug it in with headphones or plug it into an amplifier. So that means that you can play this guitar and not interrupt or disturb people in the house or around you if that is an issue. So let's plug in this guitar, hear what it sounds like plugged in. Of course, that's going to be an important determining factor as to whether or not you bond with this guitar and would consider this for your next trip. Let's plug it in and see what it can do. The frets on the guitar are kind of thin frets. They do have some really nice rounded ends to them. They look really shiny. I don't feel any kind of grittiness. I'm not really sure why they didn't extend the fretboard. You do have all this empty space here at the bottom, which you could have easily added more frets there, which would have been nice. The nut on the guitar also looks to be bone. And the top of the headstock here is metal, and the strings feed down through this metal piece here all the way to the other end. And I guess you can actually even use this as like a hanging post, something to hang your guitar if you want to. I'm amazed at what the guitar companies are coming up with these days. Definitely pretty ingenious ways of designing guitars, I have to say. This is definitely one of the most unique designs that I've had the pleasure to review on my channel. It definitely has some interesting strong points as well as some shortcomings. As I mentioned, I think the guitar is well made overall. It feels good. If you're traveling on a plane, this thing is tiny, which is great. You can play unplugged, so you can use headphones so you don't disturb anybody when you're playing the guitar as well. The shortcomings, I feel, are the tuners. They're not as sensitive as I would like them to be, unfortunately. I'm not a big fan of using the Allen key with these things. I feel it's a little bit clunky. Other than that, I think they could definitely have put in some additional frets here and gone all the way down. I think that would have been a nice plus. Of course, an onboard tuner would have been nice because, you know, it's kind of difficult to clip this anywhere, unfortunately. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. So an onboard tuner with the electronics would have been great. It's nice to see that they do have an EQ for the lows and the highs, as well as the phase. So that's nice. You can plug this into an amplifier if you need to. You can play unplugged, as I mentioned. So it's definitely versatile. I don't know how much it will withstand in terms of wear and tear, but it does seem to be well built. I think, again, the only thing I'd like to see upgraded would probably be these tuners, maybe go with a better type system. But honestly, these headless systems, they're always a challenge because the tuners are always a little bit more tricky and unique. So it's hard to get them right. But I do like the frets. I do like the fret work. I like the fretboard. The guitar seems solid. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to if you haven't played one of these guitars before. But the overall feel of it is nice. The neck profile is great. I like the fact that they did put a bone nut and a bone bridge here. Sounds pretty good, you know, either unplugged or plugged in. It's not going to sound like a full-fledged acoustic guitar, obviously, because there's no acoustic factor to it, so you have to keep that in mind. But I think it would make a nice gift for anybody that's on the go and enjoys playing guitar and would like to have something that they can just grab and go with. I think this is a pretty cool solution for that. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please tickle the little subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you'll be notified whenever we post other videos.